internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world.
XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. I'm sure every single one of you guys have thought about when to sell XRP. What is the exit strategy? And I'm going to tell you in today's episode that it is not worth it. Okay, hear me out. Here is the reality. XRP is not your quick flip. It is a financial infrastructure in its infancy stage. And if you're not selling XRP with an objective, you should not be selling at all. And your thoughts and your opinions are highly, highly appreciated once you guys hear me out on this. We all need to understand that new financial products are going to be built around these assets. XRP-backed credit lines, we have tokenized funds, treasuries, we're going to have structured yield being rolled out. And once those pipes run at scale, every coin you sell early is exposure you will not buy back at the same size or the same price. And the numbers that I'm going to go over today, you're going to understand why it's not worth it. Okay, we are at ground zero of a brand spanking ecosystem. This whole crypto ecosystem is sitting at $3.8 trillion after we saw one of the most significant dumps. Okay? And after you guys see what I'm going to present, you're going to understand it's not worth selling. Okay? You do not want to risk selling early and losing out on a lot of money. And talking about losing out on a lot of money, do you guys remember this individual by the name of this right here? Okay, I'm going to play a clip that cost people probably lots of money if they actually listen to this individual. This was when XRP was just below 50 cents. And it is truly remarkable what was said here and given what was being done at the same time. And then you're going to hear Mr. Trevor come in between and talk about some topics on Ripple Swell. And it is pretty significant how far we have come today in 2025. And then the video is going to end with a very, very epic video with Brad Garlinghouse and some industry experts talking about Swift messaging and how they are not the same. Okay, so sit back, relax, and take a listen to this.
And they're trying to get as much money as they can out of people because it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter to them. They're getting rich. And this is why they're facing legal trouble. This is why we have the SEC battle versus Stellar, who's literally an advisor for the CFTC helping form regulations. The difference there is crazy to think about. That's a ridiculous difference between those two coins. And that's why we have the ethos with Stellar. So in a speculative market, when Dogecoin's becoming one of the top coins ever, of course, fake press releases by Ripple talking about all this bank stuff is going to get people to FOMO in and to make the price action and the market cap generally be higher. But as time progresses and as XRP keeps going down and Ripple keeps going down this very bad road legally, and Stellar keeps increasing legally and surviving a regulatory clarity crypto market, which one are you going to choose logically? So for me, I'm not going to be on the side of Ripple any day because it's very, very clear what has been going on. And if you look at it honestly, that's the truth. That's why they're worth more. Saying they're worth more is not a substantial argument. Fake press releases by Ripple talking about all this bank stuff.
As our customers, we have banks like BBVA, like DBS, and HSBC that we are fortunate to have as customers, and many more.
Fake press releases by Ripple talking about all this bank stuff.
And many more. And in 2025, to continue to expand the capabilities of our custody solution.
I mean, listening to that is real bad because, I mean, after that, you guys remember Ripple agreed to acquire prime broker Hidden Road for $1.25 billion, one of the largest deals in crypto digital asset. Like, folks, that was all that's what I mean by dumb people. Like, I feel bad for this Mike, okay, that unfortunately was being held. Like, I would not want to be that Mike and that kind of BS being spit into it and talked about. Okay, it is disgusting, the level of stupidity on that. You guys heard what was said, and look where we are in 2025. Okay, it is insane. Yes, that's a real human being. Okay, but folks, it doesn't get better than this. Okay, take a look at this, and also understand we are going into an era where we're going to witness stuff that our minds can never witness of, first of all, to begin with. And it's going to be, we're all going to witness it together. We're all going to be holding hands and witnessing this ecosystem go into the trillions of dollars.
And the last one is mindset. I think this is such a paradigm shift that it's very difficult for most people in our industry to comprehend what I've just explained in my first response, the potential of that technology. Because we're so used to what we do today that we sometimes tend to not be open or able to look at what the potential could be in a very open-minded way. And I think that's also something that will be changed through education, through...
And here it is. Let's say you have $10,000 right now in XRP, okay? And current value is at $2.57. So you have, let's say, 3,800 XRP. So currently, it's at 10,000. And let's say you sell your XRP at $5. You get a $19,000 balance now. But what happens?
We now have two major prospects. I cannot name it, but hopefully you will read it in the press in the near future. They both of them, and I was really surprised, actually it's free, and these are real positively meant monsters of banks, and I was very positively surprised that there is a shift in the thinking into that direction.
You sell, and then you want to buy back in cheaper. But XRP goes to $12, and now you only have 1,600 XRP. You lost almost 60% of your position because you wanted to sell high and then buy back low. You have to understand that once this gets going, it's not going to stop. The market crash that you just saw was all engineered. They know they're not going to do this once regulation is here. And take a look at this clip that just came out after this whole market dump of Mr. Benasset, like literally Trump's right hand right now in the digital assets, saying this.
We are going big on digital assets. So Trump administration has made digital assets a priority. Past administration starved and almost made extinct a lot of these companies and pushed it offshore. So what we want to do is apply the highest U.S. regulatory and AML standards to digital assets, especially.
They know what's coming, right? So you just gave up almost 60% of your XRP and you bought back in at $12. Okay? And at $20 per XRP, that's $77,000. And if you had traded, you're sitting on $32,000. So the opportunity cost when XRP goes to $20 is $45,000, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, it is not worth it. Do not try to time these markets. Right now, all you could do is just keep accumulating and keeping your assets safe. Let's say you have a $30,000 bag right now in XRP, and you have 11,000 and some change XRP. And you sell it all when XRP goes to $5. You have a $58,000 balance now. What happens? XRP goes $12. Again, another 60% position lost. You just missed out on $136,000. When XRP goes to $20, you do understand the market capitalization is going to be below $1 trillion. So if you think XRP won't hit $1 trillion, but you think it'll hit those high ranges, $20 is your best bet. But the thing is, XRP is going to hit trillions in market capitalization. That's the best part. Selling high and buying back higher destroys your future influence on the market, folks. You got to understand that XRP is the liquidity engine for the tokenized world. And as these corridors start multiplying across different jurisdictions, right? And then you have the tokenized funds and real world assets. The same coins must serve the same purpose through these routes. it's going to get crazy. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is pretty much a test of your patience. If you sell with an objective. If you're going to pay debt, pay your debt. If you're going to acquire something, acquire that and then call it a day. If you want to fund your business, fund your business. Okay? Change your life with an intention. If you do not have a target and a timeline, you're gonna shrink your XRP bag trying to do stuff that you should not be doing. Okay? So we're gonna let utility do the heavy lifting. And the math that you saw with a $10,000 bag and a $30,000 bag, just a little difference is it's not worth it. Okay, nobody could have predicted what happened for the price of SUI and the price of XRP. Nobody. Just a couple insiders. That's the saddest part, right? Like there's individuals that open multi-million-dollar leveraged shorts 1 minute before Trump tweeted. Like you can't make that stuff up, right? This is an engineered dump. And something like this is not going to happen once regulation is here. Not like this was horrendous. Okay, this was absolutely horrendous. In a moment, I want to play the video by Brad Garlinghouse. But first, I have to bring to your attention that if you guys got liquidated on Bitunix or on 2bit, everybody is going to get, well, not on Bitunix, I have not confirmed that, but on 2bit, you folks will be getting a $500 trial fund that you can be trading with, okay? And any profit you make from that, it is all yours. So a $500 fund will be deposited. I will keep you guys posted on the timeline on that, okay, and how to proceed with that. But right now, generational bottoms. Okay, I'm looking for an entry. We are kind of teeter-tottering right now, but we got the XRP position in there when it was at $1.86. And currently we do have the deposit bonuses, a brand new one on 2bit. And if you deposit $4,000, you get an $800 trial fund. If you deposit $10,000, you get a $1,500 trial fund that you can just be trial fund trading the whole time. If you deposit $10,000, use the $1,500, open 3 trades, see how it goes. And then any profit you make from that, that is all yours. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, take advantage of the deposit bonus for Bitunix and 2bit. We got trades open on both of them. Okay, and I'm only going to be scaling it up. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Check me out on Instagram if you're not following me on Instagram. And we're going to do a 2bit Telegram group as well that I'll be announcing very shortly. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, take a listen to what Brad Garlinghouse says here and just be patient. It is going to get crazy. And please don't say, oh, I've been patient for a year, 7 years. Dude, you're holding an asset that 99% of the world's population is not going to have that opportunity to accumulate like you did. Okay? You are different. Please understand that. And I'm not trying to stroke your ego. I'm just telling you the facts. Remember, just think about it. How many people do you think in your radius has the amount of XRP that you have? Okay, not many. There isn't many floating around. Like the best example like I like to give is like if you walk into a Walmart, you're probably the only person in that Walmart with that XRP bag. Like it's tremendous when you really think about it from that perspective. And it's going to get crazy. That's all I got to say. Bitcoin being number one, that's going to change. And XRP is going to change that. So with that being said, Brad Garlinghouse, take it away.
Ripple is dramatically different in that at the core, we're an enterprise software company. We're selling bank infrastructure that uses blockchain technology to dramatically improve cross-border payments. Now, Swift is kind of a competitor. It's slightly more complicated than that because Swift is really just messaging. When you send a Swift transfer, it's not liquidity. You're actually sending bank messages to banks that have liquidity. So to some degree, Citibank and HSBC, really the top 2, JPM, those are the top 3 liquidity banks. And when you're sending Swift messages, you're sending messages to banks to release liquidity and making sure the debits and credits match. So to some degree, really boil it down, Ripple's competing with the liquidity of Citi and the messaging of Swift, but in one, because we're both messaging and liquidity.
You have Swift does messaging with a large data payload, in the ISO 222 messages, but it doesn't do settlement. So the ultimate would be to bring these things together where you have messaging and settlement coming together, that who owns what machine working hand in hand with something you can transfer the large data payloads.
And at the end of the day, again, as I described, Swift was developed 50 plus years ago. It architecturally hasn't really changed. It does remain slow. It remains, days. It does remain, relatively speaking, expensive.
So the ultimate would be to bring these things together where you have messaging and settlement coming together.
Because we're both messaging and liquidity.
But I think the idea of buying and holding forever and not trying to make adjustments requires that you've gotten it right in the first place. That you can only hold tight if you've bought right, if you will. And that is to say, have an asset allocation that has something to do with how many years you have to accumulate money, how much resources you have at stake, how much income you need, and how much courage you have to ride out the peregrinations of the market.
Fake press releases by Ripple talking about all this bank stuff. Which one are you going to choose logically? So for me, I'm not going to be on the side of Ripple any day. Side of Ripple any day. Side of Ripple any day.
Well, I woke up this morning, check my bags on the chain. XRPL still humming while the FUD folks complain. Ripple fighting Goliath, yeah, the SSA's game. But Johnny D and Hogan, they're bringing the flame. So we salute to the rebels in suits, to the coders and hodlers wearing dusty old boots. Raise a toast to the ledger and the lawyers who bite, while taco stand dumps through the middle of the night. Damn, Jed, can you chill? Brad G's on the mic saying clarity now, while Shorts codes the stars with the hologram cow watch. The haters keep chirping, but the people ain't blind. This ain't some mean dream, it's the internet's spine. Regulators stalling, but the clock's ticking fast. Ripple drops the case like a baseline blast. Communities united from Twitter to the street. We meme through the madness and never admit defeat. Yeah, we salute to the devs and the geeks, to the ledger that clears in seconds, not weeks. To D, to Hogan, to Legal Delight, and the salty old taco that just loves to spite. Hey Jed, you done yet? Or you got another dump scheduled for lunch? So here's to the warriors, the freaks, and the fans, waving salute tokens like battle flags in hand. It ain't just about coins, it's a movement, a pact. We defend what we build, and we're taking it back. Come on, salute to the ones in the fight, to the token that laughs in regulatory spite, to Schwartz, Brad, and the ones still believing, even while taco stands always leaving. One for XRP, and raise your guitar for decentralized dreams. This song's for the ledger, the truth and the proof. With a smile and a nod, we say salute.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.